All right, let's jump right in. Today we're looking at two absolutely massive breakthroughs that could completely flip the script on our energy future. One is about making way more power for a lot less money. And the other? It's about storing that power more safely than we've ever been able to before.
We've all seen it. Solar panels are popping up everywhere, and the cost of renewable energy keeps dropping. But here's the thing. Making the power is really only half the story. The other, much tougher challenge has always been, what do you do with that energy? How do you store it for when the sun isn't shining? That's always been the real hurdle.
So, first things first, let's talk about generation. How do we get even more juice from the sun? Well, the answer might be in a brand new technology that's ready to seriously supercharge the solar panels we're already familiar with. For decades, when you said solar panel, you meant silicon. And it's been great, it's reliable, but it has a ceiling, a hard limit on how much energy it can squeeze out of sunlight. But now, this new material, called perovskite, is basically a game changer. And it's not about replacing silicone, it's about teaming up with it, creating this tandem tech that just shatters those old efficiency limits. And the impact is pretty wild. Just by adding a super thin layer of this perovskite material on top of a normal silicon panel, researchers can boost its efficiency by up to 16%. Now, that's not a tiny little tweak. That's a massive leap in how much power you can get from the exact same amount of space. But hold on, because that 16% is just for starters.
In the lab, these new tandem cells have already hit a mind-blowing 31.6% efficiency. Now, to put that in perspective, the absolute theoretical limit for silicon all by itself is around 33.7%. And commercial panels aren't even close to that. So this new combo is already pushing the very boundaries of what we thought was physically possible.
Okay, so more power is fantastic. But what about the cost? Surely this is more expensive, right? Nope, because you're getting so much more energy from the same footprint, it actually drives the overall cost down. The analysis shows this can cut the price of solar power by about 10%. Cheaper and more powerful. That's the combination everyone's been waiting for. So how on earth does it work? It's a process with a cool name, quantum cutting. The simplest way to think about it is like this. Sunlight has these really high-energy blue light particles, or photons, that silicon panels kinda struggle with. Well, the perovskite layer is perfectly designed to catch those blue photons, and it cleverly cuts each one into two lower-energy red photons. And guess what? The silicon layer underneath loves red photons. It can absorb them super efficiently. You're literally getting two for the price of one. It's just a brilliant way to squeeze more power out of every single sunbeam. And if you're thinking this all sounds like some far-off, futuristic dream, think again. The market is already moving and moving fast. Projections show the perovskite solar market is set to just explode, growing at over 72% every single year through 2030. The money is flowing because the industry is betting big that this really is the future of solar. Okay, so we've cracked it, right? We've supercharged the sun, we can make more electricity, and we can do it more cheaply. Problem solved. Well, not so fast, because this brings us right back to that original problem. What do you do with all that power at night or on a cloudy day? This is where our second breakthrough comes in, and it solves the other half of this puzzle. All right, let's switch gears and talk about storage. And believe it or not, the key to our energy future might just be a revolutionary new spin on an idea that's actually more than 200 years old. We're talking about aqueous batteries, basically batteries that use a water-based solution. Now, for centuries, the big problem was that these unruly free water molecules would just attack the metal parts of the battery, the anode, and destroy it over time. The battery just wouldn't last. But scientists found this incredibly elegant solution. Just add some simple sulfate ions to the water. The sulfate basically gives the water molecules a job to do. It organizes them, locking them into a stable structure so they can't go around causing damage anymore. And the result of this one simple chemical trick? The battery becomes a staggering 10 times more durable. It massively boosts what's called reversibility, which is just a fancy way of saying you can charge it up and drain it down,
over and over and over again without it breaking down. And what's so cool is that this isn't some brand new concept. Remember that 200-year-old idea? The very first battery ever from Alessandro Volta back in the 1800s was a simple water-based battery. It just used salt water. It really proves this point that sometimes to build the future, you have to look back and perfect ideas from the past, and that's exactly what's happening here. And of course, the proof is in the data. When the research team tested a bunch of different formulas, the one using our key ingredient, zinc sulfate, just blew the others out of the water. It was way more stable, it could be charged and discharged way more effectively, and it had far fewer of those damaging side reactions. It was just the clear winner, no contest. So let's pull back for a second. We've got two huge breakthroughs on the table. One gives us cheaper, more powerful solar generation. The other gives us safer, longer-lasting storage. So let's put them together and get a glimpse of what that future could actually look like. So, what does this mean for you and me? The applications are enormous because these water-based batteries are non-flammable, they can't catch fire, they're perfect for huge grid-scale storage systems for entire wind and solar farms. They're also much, much safer for things like wearable tech, and their incredible lifespan makes them perfect for all those smart home gadgets and other devices that are becoming a bigger and bigger part of our lives. So here it is. This is the whole picture. It's this powerful duo. On one side, you have perovskite solar, giving us that massive boost in cheap, powerful energy generation. And on the other side, you have these enhanced aqueous batteries, giving us a safe, durable, and affordable way to store it all. This is the 1-2 punch that the renewable energy world has been dreaming about. You know, we often think progress comes from one single magic bullet invention. But what we're really seeing here are two breakthroughs that solve two sides of the very same coin. One makes generating energy cheap and abundant. The other makes storing that energy safe and reliable. So the real question becomes, once you can finally do both of those things, what else is suddenly possible? Thanks for watching.